In this lesson, we're going to see the example of block and inline boxes. So we have this code. Take a look at it. We have our paragraph, then unordered list with 3 list items. Then we have another paragraph that has 2 span elements. The first span is around the text programming, and the second span is around the text top. The span around the programming has a class block. Let us go to the CSS and see how this list and paragraphs are styled. Don't think too much about the code, but let's focus on the display type. But let's just go through the code. For the paragraph and unordered list, it has a border of 2 pixels, that is the thickness. Solid means the type of border, so it's a solid line. And then the color, dark green. Then it has a padding for 3 pixels. Then also we go further to give some specific declaration to the unordered list. It has a display flex. Flex means the inner display type will be flex, and flex has a way of arranging content in rows, and the list style is going to be none. So it wouldn't have numbering or images as a list normally does to list the items. Then when we go down, we see that block has a color dark orchid, similar border thickness and style. Then we have another block declaration for specificity. We see that the display type is set to block. So for any element with class block, the display type will be set to block. You can see the first paragraph, and nothing special is applied to it. But because we have colored the border, we're able to see where the border stretched to. Remember that for block types, one of the statements that was stated was the block will extend in the inline direction to fill the space available in the container. In most cases, the box will come as wide as the container. Now, the container of this paragraph is the viewport in this situation. So the border will actually extend to fill it up. Assuming we didn't color the border, we wouldn't know, but this is a way of knowing. Now let's go to the list, the unordered list. The outer display type for the unordered list is still block, and as you can see, the outer border extended. But for the list items, remember that the style, which is the display, is flex, and flex will arrange the items in a row, which is what happened here. So the inner display type was flex, but the outer display type was block. This is useful in some situations when you want to arrange items in this way. For the second paragraph, notice that the span element that had the class block set the text as a block. Remember that block elements come into a new line. So notice how there are actually 2 span elements in that second paragraph, programming and top. But nothing really was applied to top because it's just a span, an inline display type. But for programming, since the class block had a display type block, that means it will be rendered as a block element. That is why you see the programming border or the border around programming stretching to fill the container.